Good morning, students. Today I'll take up a poem from a railway carriage, which is written by R.L. Stevenson, that is, Robert Louis Stevenson. Now, Robert Louis Stevenson was a Scottish essayist, poet, author of fiction and travel books, best known for his works like Treasure Island, Kidnapped, and many more. He is known for the number of works he produced in his 20 years literary career. He wrote short stories, novels, poetry, plays, and biography. He was born on 13th November 1850 in Edinburgh, United Kingdom. Moving on to the poem. The poem was published in Robert Louis Stevenson's 1885 volume of poetry for children. The poet describes the sights that he notices while traveling in the train. Traveling experiences are a source of great happiness for children. And I'm sure, children, you too must be waiting for a chance to travel by train with your family and go out, spend quality time with them while traveling in the train. In our childhood days, we all had a fascination towards traveling in train because of the mechanical movement of the wheels and loud horn. Mind you, children, it's real fun traveling by train and experiencing all the nature, the natural things, hills, trees, mountains, villages passing by. It's full of fun. Here in this poem from A Railway Carriage, R.L. Stevenson, the poet describes his adventurous train journey. The theme of the poem is that the joy what we get from traveling is the major theme of the poem. Beauty of nature as a theme is the description in the description, like meadows, horses and kettles, sights of the hills and plains. So here the poet is telling you about all the natural beauty. The objective of the poem is here. By learning this poem, you will be able to understand the theme of the poem, identify the poetic devices used in the poem, and of course, it's going to improve your observation skills. Now, you must be wondering as to what are poetic devices and why are they used while writing a poem? Children, poetic devices are a form of literary device used in poetry. They are like essential tools that a poet uses to create rhythm to enhance poem's meaning. They give life to the poem. In this poem, the poet R.L. Stevenson has used different poetic devices which you'll come across when we'll go through the poem. Here he's used rhythmic rhyming couplets. He's used rhyming couplets. Like the words are rhyming witches, ditches, battle, kettle. Then the next poetic device which he has used is simile. Now, what is a simile? Simile is a figure of speech that directly compares two different things using words such as like or as. Like troops in a battle fly as thick as driving rain. So these are similes which are used in the poem. Now, the next poetic device which you'll come across in this poem is alliteration. Alliteration. Now, what is alliteration? Is a literary device in which series of words begin with the same consonant sound. So I'm repeating myself with the same consonant sound. For example, we take up this line, she sells seashells by the seashore. So here you can see that series of words, they are there with the same consonant sound. And in the poem, R.L. Stevenson has used alliterations like faster than fairies, houses and hedges, and many more. So you'll just let's move on to the poem. Please pause the video, go through the poem word by word. I'm sure you're going to enjoy the poem and you're going to feel as if you are sitting in the train and experiencing each and everything. Let's go by the explanation of the poem. Here, the poet is saying faster than fairies, faster than witches. Now he says that the train is moving in such a fast speed. He describes the journey by train and different scenes that he sees while traveling by train. He says that the train moves in a very fast speed. He can just get a glance of few things and then they disappear altogether. The poet shares his experience of his first railway journey. He is amazed by the speed of the train, and here he compares the speed of the train with fairies and witches. Now, what are fairies and witches? Fairies are imaginary creatures with magical powers, and witches are women having black magical powers. Now, he says that the train is running so fast that it is rushing. Rushing means it's moving forward like soldiers who are attacking their enemies in the battlefield. The speedy movement of the train leaves behind bridges, houses, fences, and ditches. Now, what are ditches? Ditches are drainage system on the side of the along the road. It leaves behind everything. Why? Because it's moving so fast. The green fields where horses and kettles are grazing, they just come and move. He can just have a glance of it. All the sides of the hills and plains fly as thick as driving rain. So here the poet explains that the scenes of hills, plains are crossed by the train just as a drop of rain falling following the other drops in a storm. You can see, one after another the raindrops fall. The same way the train is moving by, it's moving so fast, and he can just see things. In the next moment, the train passes the railway station, which is full with people wearing colorful dresses, posters, walls, and they all pass by, and it all looks like painted pictures. And he says that, and ever again In the wink of an eye, painted station whistle by. Just wink in a eye, just for a glance, just for a second, he can see. He just experiences, oh yes, something colorful came and it just passed away. So here he says that it looks like painted pictures. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles. Poet sees a child climbing up the steep ground. He moves with difficulty and gathers black berries all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and here is the green for stringing the daisies. Now, here the poet explains that he also sees a homeless person who's looking at the speedy train in amazement. He sees some ladies making garlands of daisies and they're sitting in a common village land. Here is a cart, runway in the road, lumping along with man and load. Then the poet comes across a cart which is loaded and is moving in the middle of the road. Due to the heavy load, it's moving in a very awkward way. The cart driver is sitting on top of the load. He's, he also gets a glimpse of a mill, a river, and all these objects appear and disappear. He experience glimpse forever means now here what exactly do is the poet trying to tell you by the line each a glimpse and gone forever. Here the poet says that while traveling, nothing remains stationary. Everything moves along with the movement of the train. So every scene that you see in just a glimpse disappear. Just because the train is moving, new scenes, pictures, images come in the place of previous one. The message of the poem is that a railway journey is a source of happiness. It presents a constant changing scene. It provides a chance to see natural beauty and to enjoy watching it. Children, here are some word meanings which you need to go through them. Please learn them with spellings. And here is the explanation of the poem. You can pause the video and go through it. And there is a small activity for you to do. You will write a paragraph on it. Imagine you're traveling by train and looking out of the window. Now you will write a paragraph using some words given out here. Your experience. In your practice copy, you will do this work. I hope you enjoyed learning this poem and you will go through it